with us. Okay, they couldn't hear us. Wait, how long could they not hear us? Because I feel fairly confident I hit the unmute button. But I guess I didn't.
Wait, I don't see that message.
So we had a whole conversation. I don't know if you guys heard any of it. Okay, no. Apparently I missed the unmute button. Great. Fantastic. Fantastic.
So you just missed all of that. That was just pure silence.
That was a lot of context. The point is, Oblivion's the best Elder Scrolls game. That's all you need to know.
That's a hot take there, Ryan. It's well, I like Morrowind. I haven't actually played any of the others, so
Don't bother, honestly. Like, it's only downhill.
So, what? Okay, watch along stream. Here's what you do. Watch along. We already went over this, but you couldn't hear us. Great. See, it's Season 2, Episode 16 of Enterprise. You queue up Season 2, Episode 16 of Enterprise. Then if the countdown hits 0 and you press play, and we press play, and we watch Star Trek. There. Done.
I see you have literally 2 videos on your gaming channel.
I have a gaming channel? Oh, yeah, I do.
This is where you don't mess with a Boolean.
No, that was... I think that was Stellaris I put on there.
Hmm.
Why do I have 37 subscribers for a channel I don't use? I don't know if it's even linked on my edits channel anymore.
It is, that's how I got to it.
And nobody
Star Wars
reads
is-
your links.
Star
don't
Wars is
remember
just
your
as good as Star
memberships,
Trek.
though, that is
Okay,
what-
you can like it if you want, I don't care. As long as you agree that Oblivion is better than Morrowind and Skyrim.
You don't remember your memberships, which is what I was actually looking for. There's all the other stuff.
The thing about... Okay, Skyrim, when you fight a bandit, they say something like, never should have come here. And that's it. That's all you get. It's very dramatic. In Oblivion, they go, this is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
This is
It's
the
so much
end of
better.
you, Swit. Now you
NY.
die. Stupid.
God. Oblivion's such a good game. Anyway, 50 seconds to start. Everyone be queued up to future tense. I love Oblivion. The fact that half of the characters are all played by the same guy, it's just it's perfect.
That much is very evident from your videos.
God, Wes Johnson has unironically become my favorite voice actor.
Where's Johnson here? For Portal.
Honestly, Morrowind's combat
a different
system is
guy.
better than Oblivion's.
Is that the different guy that talks about the Portal prototypes and things?
Are you talking about Cave Johnson?
Ah, that would make sense.
Wes Johnson's a real person. He's a voice actor. Anyway, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Yes, I know the level scaling in Oblivion's a little screwed up. I acknowledge that, but it's still the best regardless.
That is such a hot take.
Ah, this is a futuristic ship, yes.
Yes. It's a cylinder. A very futuristic cylinder.
Some sort of.
This is the TARDIS crossover
We're in for a good
episode.
one.
Yes. Which we mentioned, but everyone was muted, apparently.
Oh, we didn't say that specifically, but yeah.
Doctor Who crossover.
They should have just made this Doctor
Hey,
Who.
look, it's an exocomp in the background. Do you see that?
Is that? Oh yeah.
It's not like a
Oh,
whole
they stole that
exocomp,
from the
though, it's just
repair
like the
station.
chassis.
Hmm.
They
Maybe
must
it's
have stolen it
peanut
from the repair
hamburgers.
station.
Great grandpa.
Well, it's a modified exocomp model. To do
Yeah,
something
it was a
we
medical
don't know
instrument.
It really
what.
gets a lot of
I mean the one in
screen
the
time.
background there.
Oh,
Gotta
Oblivion
phrase it.
also... Morrowind and Skyrim can't claim this. It has Sean Bean, in addition to Patrick Stewart.
Does he die though?
What do you think?
Comic justice, yes.
Though it's actually somewhat unclear. He kind of dies, but he kind of just
Well, he turns into a dragon,
ascends.
right?
Yeah, he ascends to godhood. So that kind of counts. He's no longer on
Bean
this
was
plane of
best in Sharp.
existence.
Sharp
I
is
like how they just
incredible.
have magnet handles on hand, just in case you need to magnetize a handle onto something.
Well, how else are you going to open things with no handle?
Just in case.
Ah, welcome, Uber mine. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Oiber.
Or I suppose.
So foggy in that ship. I guess it's
It's full of
dust. But then
time.
Yeah, it's going to be
where would
look
the dust
ancient.
come from if they're in
It's
space?
temporal
That
dust.
body. That body.
They're just surrounded by skin flakes?
Yes.
Great.
There's some TOS
Lovely.
camera stuff. The face close-ups. All it needs is the
Also-
TOS music sting there.
Paul, you do not know that he's human. You cannot make that based on his looks.
I think she used her tricorder.
Yeah, she did scan in there,
Okay.
but she let Archer like explore for a bit before
she let him
revealing
touch. She
this
let him touch
information.
stuff before she checked if it was safe.
No, she checked it and she knew there was a dead human in there. She wanted Archer to find it.
Archer needs to feel important. He needs to feel like he's helping.
There's literally anyone else who's replaced him in that role. Yes.
What else does Oblivion have that's amazing? Voice acting.
That's gonna be the topic of this stream now.
I've look, okay. Look, over the last week I've been playing a little bit of Oblivion. Do you guys want to play some Oblivion?
No, but we had a brilliant Stellaris game yesterday. Yeah, I don't think Oblivion is multiplayer anyway.
It's not. There are still ways to play it in multiplayer though, like
Yeah, I think there's a
oh
mod.
god, what's it called? Where I give you access to my computer and you just control it at the same time. And we have to fight over attacking a goblin. Oh, I do prefer
But if one of you wants to do a different type of level optimization so you don't get screwed over by the encounter scaling.
Okay. I know there is an optimal way to level up. That's very dramatic.
Yeah, but there's
lighting, I
more
like
than
it.
one. What if you guys disagree?
No, but my point is, as much as people rag on the scaling system, and it is broken, the game's actually not that hard anyway. People beat it as literal children. It's not a big deal.
It's the one where the episode is about Zephyr Proctor and it never is it, and it's not him.
So
this does tie directly to the TOS episode where he appears.
The worst episode I've ever seen, yes. I hate it. Yeah, he's over there, well, not exactly dating a space cloud. The space cloud wants to date, but Zephyr doesn't want to date it because it's a space cloud. And then the space cloud murders and possesses a woman's corpse, and then he'll date it. Because it's a woman now.
As you do. It's pretty normal.
Buddy TOS.
It's probably not even the craziest thing in TOS.
Oh, what is the craziest thing in TOS? Is it Spock? I don't remember that much about TOS. Is it Spock's brain? Is it the Nazis?
Spock's brain
the
isn't that
gangsters?
bad. Like everyone rags on Spock's brain, but it's a threshold
passable
quality
episode.
episode.
So would you describe Spock's brain as campy fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's not as
a
bad
little
as people
sexist,
say?
but it's definitely not as bad as people say.
Sounds a lot like Oblivion. It's campy fun. That's not as bad as people say.
Yeah.
More ships? I think our next triangle ship is next week. I don't think we have one this week.
Hmm.
Hopefully I'm wrong, but I don't think we do.
See, people
If
keep
we do, it'll be
saying
in
that,
Canamar.
that Discovery's turbo void is a plot hole, but it's very clear that they
It's a
have
ship hole.
this TARDIS tech because of this episode.
But did
So
they have
you're
it in
not
the
allowed to
22nd
complain about the turbo
century?
void. Yeah, this
We
is from
see
the 29th century.
The
Discovery is from the
Enterprise
31st
D is
century.
expensive to
No,
not
but we
have
see
that.
we see the weird turbo shafts before they travel to the future.
Oh, this is so sad. I think we see them in short treks. It's very weird.
There is one particular episode where we see them.
I miss short treks.
driving
I wish they didn't
something.
cancel it.
Hmm.
They were really good.
Yeah, I really like short
They
treks.
weren't easy to get in other countries though.
I think they were all good, honestly. Should definitely watch them if you haven't seen them all.
Is that like
They are
blood or coolant? What's the
Beta
blue
canon, of course.
fluid?
Though. Organic
It's
fluid of
Pureed
some
and
description.
Dorian. This is how T'Pol learns how to make her season 3 outfit.
It's only bigger on the inside in some dimension strip. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
What does that
I'm
mean?
sure it all fits together. Don't worry about it.
Like I'm scared of it.
40
Big
feet.
ship.
That was a Doctor Who reference.
Do you?
I haven't seen Doctor Who in a long time.
I think. Oh, I don't actually remember the specific distance she says, but she throws down Clara Oswald. Missy throws down Clara Oswald down a hole.
Well, then that
find
was
the
Someone
distance
throws
referenced
there.
Clara down a hole?
Yeah, she just knocked Clara Oswald down the hole to see how deep it is.
That sounds like murder.
She survives.
That sounds like attempted murder.
I think it's more negligence than anything. Or neglect. Like,
There's another meaning there as well, possibly.
this room looks like a TARDIS room.
Yes. Really should just have been, hey, let's get the Doctor in here. Maybe his TARDIS has accidentally jumped to a different universe.
I don't think they should have gone with a concrete look for this ship, though. I think that's a bit of a weird choice.
Is this reused,
Like the walls, they
though?
look like they're made out of concrete.
This looks familiar, but I don't know from where. Maybe it's not. Who is it? Oh.
Sudaban, yes.
I was hoping for the Tholians. I guess they're later.
The wackiest episode of Star Trek definitely has to be the original series has to be the one where Kirk is like puppeted to act like a horse,
Oh, Jesus.
and
that-
the
oh,
small
God.
man tries. It's insane.
Just because it has the historical claim to first interracial kiss on TV doesn't mean it's a good episode.
Oh, it was terrible. It was a
Yes.
terrible episode.
That's... You're talking real big for someone in torpedo distance.
Yes.
I think there's any connection between Hikaru Sulu and the Suliban.
Seems unlikely.
Oh, we get to see the Tholians in this episode.
Yes.
That's always good.
Well, here. I don't know if we see one. But yes, we
Not
see their
like,
ships.
you don't get to see one.
Okay, yeah, I see.
It's their
Yes.
ships. But they're
Those
here,
are
and
triangle
they
ships of a
screech at
sort. They're not the
Ochikoshi.
triangle ship, but they're triangles.
I think
Those
it's
are
a
pretty
stretch
cool.
to call that a triangle.
I think it counts. It's at least conical.
Like it's pointy.
a low polycone. pyramidal. They're pointy.
Oh, that's cool. Is that the only time we see that Silabon ship?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless you play
think we
modded
usually just have a little-
Stellaris. It's a CG villain. There you go. Gun. Yes.
Look at his shooting stance. Look at his like rolled ankle. Did you see that?
He always crouches down in a weird way. Shoot him. Reed, what was that? You saw him coming. Is Enterprise even firing? I feel like we could have destroyed the freighter by now. Oh, now we're starting to fire. Immediately knocked them out.
Well, I don't want bad enough to send in like a warship.
I think they do. It's just that this was the closest ship.
Yeah, they have pretty powerful ships. Like the cell ships are pretty powerful, despite being
Well,
small.
en
But
masse.
this probably was the closest, and able to carry it.
Look at this guy is overacting. I love it. Unironically.
It cloaked like the other Silabon ships.
If you love some overacting, perhaps you try Oblivion. There's a lot of it. And it's great. Here's what I love about Oblivion's dialogue. The actual writing, the words that they wrote are very serious and dramatic. So if you ignore the campy acting, then yeah, it's a very serious and dramatic story. It's really cool. Alternatively, if you're looking for some humor, pay attention more to how it's presented. And it's hilarious. It's the best of both worlds.
There's a Star Trek episode about that.
About Oblivion? That'd be a pretty cool episode.
I think there is a Star Trek episode called Oblivion as well, maybe?
Course Oblivion, yes.
Mm.
They don't even play Oblivion in that. I could make an edit where they do.
They could probably play Oblivion in the whole attack.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea for next week. An episode or a video that's just titled something something Course Oblivion, and it's just Oblivion playing on their view screen. That's the whole thing. It's the whole video. Course Oblivion, though, that's the horrifying episode.
Gets an
Well, one of them,
early?
where they die and it's tragic.
How disgusted T'Pol is. I love it.
Ugh. Gross humans. Disgusting.
Spans well from the future, like possibly even the 32nd century, where they have done that.
Oh yeah, there was also a movie called Oblivion, and I was deeply disappointed that it had nothing to do with the good Oblivion. I never watched it, but I didn't care because it wasn't Elder Scrolls.
How does that lock even keep the door shut?
Very well, thanks for asking.
Well, it's magnets, probably. Look, Daniels is dead. T'Pol.
Kind of.
Unless you believe in time travel, T'Pol, you shouldn't have a problem with this.
And the Vulcan Science Directorate has Demectimate? To Deredex, I see.
The science
There's a
Vulcan
Klingon bird of prey.
director. The Voyager shows up in here. Or is it in a different episode where it shows up?
Where what shows up?
The Voyager. In one of these scenes with the time hologram, the Voyager can be seen in the hologram.
There is no such ship.
There's a whole show about it.
No, there's a show about Voyager. There's no show about the Voyager. I'm looking for an Intrepid. I don't see one yet, but they're scrolling pretty fast.
It could be in the pilot where they open this thing up for the first time. They replayed the thing.
That would
Yeah.
depend on the exact person. It'd be random. Well, actually, it depends. It depends whether the pointed ears is a dominant or whatever recessive gene.
Recessive.
100 years. Why did they get rid of the saucer section on their 900 year in the future ships? Now it's just ugly. I mean, that seems fair. Why would they not retrieve it immediately?
Here's the regional toilet.
Here's the whatchamacallit? What?
I
Oh, the
forgot what they're
Tholians.
called. Tholians, yes.
They're kind of triangle-y.
I hope
A
they
little
just
bit.
screech at Hoshi.
Well, they're not the triangle ship.
Why would they not use saucer ships in Star Trek? Saucer ships are great. How did they even get here so fast? I don't know if one Tholian ship is a threat. It seems like their whole thing is swarming. Ow. Kinda sounds Indian sectoid, just a little bit. So, the Tholians here, they're not even lying, honestly. That thing is dangerous. I don't know if you want it in your cargo hold. I am, however, unclear on why Reed can't aim the weapons. I get that the targeting scanners are screwed up, but he could just, like, fire in their direction. They're right next to you. Can probably hit them. Archer probably should just destroy it. Just blow it up. It's not worth it.
I think he is Janeway. Speaking of Janeway,
No. Not speaking of Janeway. I haven't seen it yet. Assuming you're
I
talking
was
about the
gonna
recent
ask
Prodigy
if you guys were
episode.
watching Prodigy.
I'm going to
because
be
it's really
watching it
good.
as soon as well, not as soon as the stream ends. I'm going to get food, and then I'm going to watch it.
Well, it's good.
Good. Small one-man fighters. We see small one-man fighters in Star Trek. It doesn't go so hot for them. Unlike in Star Wars, Star Trek actually has computer-aided aiming systems They don't just
Yeah.
have to like point a World War II era artillery cannon. Just pop them right out of the air. Except there's no air. You know what I mean. One-man fighters are a bad idea in Star Trek.
Except for actually, you can travel forward in time at any speed you like, provided you do the correct things.
You know that's not what people mean when they say time travel. That's never what anyone means.
Yes, I do suppose you mean backwards in time, but which is theoretically impossible with the information we currently have.
What are you, the Science Vulcan Directorate?
I said theoretically impossible. I didn't say actually impossible. There is no theoretical method of traveling backwards in time. That does not mean to say it is impossible.
Okay. I really like their lighting in this show.
Yes.
Where it seems like, especially with Phlox, because he has all that facial detail on their ridges, and it creates some nice shadowing. They just light half of people's face, and the rest of it is all shadowy and nice.
Yes.
Why are one-man fighters not good in Star Trek? Because they're small and have minimal shielding because they can't fit a giant shield generator.
And they can be
because
taken
Star
down
Trek
with
ships
one shot of the phasers.
Star Trek ships are basically perfectly accurate because they use computer systems, not manual aiming. So they just one-shot these little fighters in rapid succession, and they just die. And the phasers can fire in 360 degrees, and it's just they don't really do it.
It is odd that
we
they don't
see
have
one-man
it earlier
fighters
on
and they
in
immediately die.
Trek. Yeah, it is odd they don't use them earlier on in Trek because they don't have that capability so much. Like the phased cannons and things fire in bursts and have reduced firing arcs.
Yeah.
But as soon as they get the 360 arc on the Enterprise D, then
another
it's
time
like,
one-man fighters are great is if you just have a million of them. Then they're
Yes.
fairly effective. Because how do you even target that?
Yeah, they're quite effective in Star Trek Online, but not to a massive extent. And
in the Dominion War, the Federation does use not exactly one-man. They're still bigger than X-Wings, but they do use a type of fighter. And they die. They all die.
Yeah.
So,
and in Star Trek Online, rather unfortunately, the fighters are referred to as pets.
So in the Daniels database, according to Memory Alpha, an Intrepid class starship does appear, but I cannot find any picture of it.
Okay.
However, I was able to find a picture of the Enterprise D saucer section, as well as the Voyager Aero Shuttle. If you guys know about the Aero Shuttle.
Is that different than the captain's yacht?
Yeah, it's Voyager's captain's yacht is called the Aero Shuttle.
Okay.
It's never used in the show, but you can see it on the underside of the hull.
Also, I think that it was that same year someone the Dutch defeated our armada. Literally drove up the channel and destroyed our entire armada. What? Yeah, I wasn't paying much attention then. It just happened again. It's like,
He wants to meet a Stegosaurus. What's there to understand? Wouldn't you want to meet a Stegosaurus?
Oh, they've looped it because they pulled the panel off.
Now, they have to do this same scene so many times, which means if there's outtakes, they have to do this scene 3 times as many times. And it's, it would take forever. Stegosaurus was the one with the big plates on its back, right? Yes? No? No? I'm just gonna Google Stegosaurus.
Yes.
Yes, it has the big
Stegosaurus
plates on
has
the
like
back.
it's like a
More Doctor Who
tank,
references.
right? But it has like a tail, right? That has like a club. Let me Google this.
It doesn't have. I think it's the Ankylosaurus that has a club.
Yeah, you're right. Oh yeah, Stegosaurus is the one with the ridge.
It has spikes. Yeah.
Sounds cool. It does have a tail club, but it's like spiky instead of like a club.
Honestly, most of my knowledge of dinosaur fighting systems comes from a video game where you just fight as dinosaurs. It's a dinosaur fighting game. It's great. It's like Mortal Kombat, but you're a Stegosaurus versus an Ankylosaurus. Don't know what it was called. Probably Jurassic Park, something. Let me look. Dinosaur fighting game. Not Jurassic Primal Rage, is that it?
Does this mean you have a favorite dinosaur, Ryan?
Not really. Oh, here it is. Jurassic Park Dinosaur Battles. Good game. Wait, is that even it? No, that UI looks totally different. It's a different dinosaur fighting game. Wait, how many are there? It's not Primal Rage. It's not Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, but it's in the same style. Oh, here it was. Warpath Jurassic Park. Warpath. And frankly, I resent the fact that I found it on a list where it is listed as one of the worst, terrible dinosaur fighting games. I loved that game. In fact, maybe I'll download an emulator and play it again. Like some kind of emergency beacon. Just, you don't need to send it back. Just blow it up. Just destroy the ship. You don't need it. You don't have to go full Janeway and destroy your own ship. Just destroy the little ship.
So, Archer, what do you consider as maximum warp here? Just technically, it's a warp 5 engine, but we've already seen
Yeah, on
how
paper.
that goes.
Warp 5.1.
Based on the rumble, I'd guess they are going warp 5, maybe 4.8 or 9. This looks like warp 5. Wait, a few million kilometers, and they're going like 100 times the speed of light. They should just be there already. In fact, let me... 100,000 million
Fire at a single
kilometers to
target.
light seconds.
Read.
Okay, so the range they gave was 333 light seconds. And they're going substantially faster than light speed. They should get there pretty quick.
They were 600,000 kilometers, 200,000 kilometers.
Now they're 200,000 kilometers.
What? Just
Oh, Takir's not doing so hot.
yes.
Oh, that. I like that they cut the dramatic music for a bit, just to take in the moment.
Oh, the Tholians destroyed it or damaged it.
Yep.
Hello.
Hey, Robo.
Hi.
I
So,
found it.
what's the best Elder Scrolls game?
I see the Tholians are
It's
here.
like in the
What about
last
CSO?
moment the screen is up.
Take a screenshot.
I'm working on it.
Okay. Robo, what's the best Elder Scrolls game?
I think you're probably gonna say Oblivion.
Of course I'm saying. I've said Oblivion so many times.
I've personally
I
never
think you're
played
gonna
through
say
Elder
Morrowind.
Scrolls game. But I've never played through any of them.
Fine.
Why would I say Morrowind? Why do you
Because
think
you're
I would say
old.
that? I think I started playing one of them and I played it for like half an hour and then I was like,
Yeah, sounds like Morrowind.
Well, if you look at my Steam library and you look at like played time and you find the whichever one I have and you find the one that I played for 30 minutes.
I'm okay. I don't need to stalk your game library.
So it's quite a advanced CG
Oh, this is
battle.
the one. This is the one where they found the TARDIS, right?
Yes.
Yep. Now
Okay.
everybody's fighting over it.
Now everybody wants the TARDIS.
Why would they make it easy? It's a weapon. So is that an antimatter? No, it's a spatial. It's not antimatter. Is
Yeah.
it?
No,
It's just
it's not
that there's
antimatter.
What? But
It's
what
a-
is a
It's
spatial
a-
torpedo?
Photon
Exactly.
torpedo.
It's probably some type of thermonuclear bomb. I would assume.
That doesn't look like a micro caliper. That looks like a very macro caliper. That thing's thick.
Maybe it measures in micrometers. So I have a micrometer, and it goes to 25 millimeters,
Hmm.
but it measures in like tens of thousands of a millimeter.
Is there something wrong with the episode? It's repeating itself. What could be happening?
So they have to keep doing it faster and faster. Oh no, I had a mild sauce mixed in with my hot sauce, and now it's in my nachos. Sad.
Okay.
It tastes different. I don't like it.
Then why did you get a mild? Yeah, I don't care.
I didn't. They put it in my bag. I got my food to go, and they put the sauce in the bag, and they happened to have one in with mixed in, and I opened it. I didn't see the front. I saw only the back, which is all white. You know.
That's very tragic.
Wait, did they name them as Tholians? I'm not sure.
Yeah, they know they're Tholians.
T'Pol called them Tholians.
Right.
We don't need to repair the launch bay doors.
They're gonna rip the doors open, right?
Yeah, we could just destroy the doors. Will you, Archer? Will you take it from here, or are you just gonna reset? There we go.
Yep.
So the Tholians are made out of crystal, right? They're like
Yeah.
crystal bugs.
Yeah.
And so remember how they destroyed the crystalline entity? Why can't they just do that with the Tholians?
They don't
Be like, I'm
know
just
that
going
the
to shake your
Tholians are
ship
crystals
until
at
you
this point.
explode.
They don't know that at this point.
I'm going to
T'Pol
shake your
said
ship
they're
until you all
believed to be
explode.
non-humanoid, but that's all they know.
So where were they when the progenitors were seeding the galaxy with humanoid life?
Well, I mean, the galaxy was seeded, but other people can still evolve independently. It's not just progenitors. They're doing their own thing. All right, there it goes. All right, they gave it to the Tholians, the fools. Yeah, I mean, I liked the warhead idea. It was a good plan. Little unfortunate. Oh, there they go. And it's gone. All right, well, that
Ladies and
situation solved
gentlemen,
itself.
It's the Voyager.
No, no.
Posted, got it. It is so subtle. This it's in the middle of the shot between the NX-01 and the
It's
Galaxy D
behind a
saucer
bunch of
section.
text.
It's under the text. Who the hell designed this graphic?
All right, let me
What are you
bring it up
talking
for
about?
the stream.
That
What are we
took about
talking
20
about?
minutes to find.
Here it is.
What are we
Right
talking
here
about?
is Voyager. Voyager.
The Voyager.
And I don't think there's even NX-01 at the bottom. This looks more like a TNG era.
There's a Nova. There's an
It looks
NX-01,
like
I think.
that's the concept design. It looks like it's what becomes the Franklin.
There's the
Well,
Galaxy
it has
class
the warp
saucer.
field regulator, or whatever the hell that little pod is called.
That's an NX-01 on the bottom right. Yes, that's NX-01.
I'm sure
It's
it is.
Voyager is
different
above
shape.
it.
No,
It might be
think-
a
I think
concept
that's
for an
what
NX-01. It's not the final design.
It's the concept for it, which I think
Whoa.
became the Franklin in the
The
Kelvin
Franklin
timeline.
doesn't have a
Right,
warp
that's-
field stabilizer, though.
That is the NX-01.
It's too short and stumpy. The NX-01
It's a
is
little.
longer
It's a
than
little
that.
squished. I think. I think you're right that it's squished, but it's absolutely
The
NX-01.
NX-01 has a engineering
Could be just
section
distortion
across
from
the
it-
top of it.
from it being
There's no
projected
connector
at an
between the
oblique
two
angle.
nacelles. The two nacelles
I
have
think
a
I think it's
connector on
being
the,
projected at an oblique
thing.
angle, but that's the NX-01. Intrepid class is above it. Galaxy class saucer. Then on the left there was a was that Nova class?
Nova, yeah. And then you have a Surak class ship up above the Nova, also superimposed on top of text. And then you have that really cool looking 3-ringed Vulcan ship that we never see on screen, I don't think. I wish we got to see that ship. That one's really cool.
Maybe we see it in Discovery.
The one in Discovery has one giant ring, which is also really cool. I liked seeing that ship.
One ring to rule them all. One ring to bind them. Or
We
in the
are
darkness
getting
bind
a
them.
new Lord of the Rings TV show in the near future.
Oh God.
I think the season 1 is titled like The Forging of the Rings.
Oh God. Do you think it'll have
Something like that.
Morgoth in it?
But that's
I
already.
don't know.
they've
The Lord of the Rings,
released
The Rings
title
of
screen.
Power. That's season 1.
Yeah, the Rings of Power.
You know what?
They've released the title screen.
Yes, September 2nd.
How
of
about this?
year.
How about this? have a show set after Return of the King, like 20, 30 years. It's just a sitcom in the
I'll just
Shire.
theme.
It's like Seinfeld with hobbits.
How about we get like a short trek, but for Lord of the Rings? That's the Scouring of the Shire. Since we never got it in the movies.
Like we people won't expect just a sitcom, like just a regular show set in the Lord of the Rings universe. I think Tolkien would have loved that, because Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were just stories that happened inside of his universe that he created. Just have a story inside the universe. It doesn't have to be this grand epic thing. Just a little thing about a dude trying to find a girlfriend or something. You know, like just a regular old sitcom.
We already had parts of that in Lord of the Rings, though, with Samwise and the.
Added that to the
Rosie.
Hobbit, and it was the worst thing.
We tried that. Anyway, 1 minute to
was a
Canamar. Everyone queue up to
disaster.
Canamar.
Which episode is this?
Canamar, season 2, episode 17.
Yeah, which one is
Canamar.
this?
It's
they
about
didn't play it.
Archer and Tucker being on a prison transport.
Archer and Tripper accused
Oh,
of
God.
smuggling and sent to the penal colony Canamar. While Enterprise negotiates their release, a mutiny breaks out.
And there's
They
a
added it to the
Nausicaan, and
Hobbit.
there's an annoying guy.
They added it to The Hobbit with reshoots, and it was obviously never intended. It was shoehorned in, so it didn't make sense. And The Hobbit wasn't. This is like I'm talking about starting from the ground up with like a lighthearted sitcom. Like that's the point. It would be different than if you just shoehorn in a love triangle into The Hobbit.
That was so
And-
weird. Why did they do that?
It was weird. It was unnecessary. But as far as like an explanation, I liked the
Hold that
in-universe
thought.
explanation
Everyone
that like
press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
when you read the
Make it-
book, you're reading
Well, that's a ban-
you're reading a
damaged
book
Shuttlecraft.
written by Bilbo Baggins, right? He wouldn't have written any of that
He's the
stuff down.
bravest
Yeah,
little
he's the
hobbit of them
bravest
all.
little hobbit of them all.
He didn't care. He didn't care
That's my
about the love
line.
triangle, so he didn't write it down. That's why it was in the movie, but not in the book.
Fun fact, the actress who plays Toriel, the lady elf in the love triangle, she signed her contract under the explicit agreement that she would not have a romance plot. And then they
That's
made her do one
hilarious.
I know.
anyway.
How did you
Yep.
not sue them to death?
Now they did it in
I guess it
reshoots.
wasn't
That was
written in the
literally the
contract, it was
entire
a
purpose of
verbal
her
agreement.
character.
I don't know the details.
Literally
but
the
yeah,
entire thing.
She definitely did not want that. Made her do it.
How?
I don't know.
Like, that's
money.
all she does.
I don't know. I don't know what
They had her
happened
come in
with the
for
Hobbit.
reshoots. They didn't tell
It
her what
was-
it was. She came in and they gave her the thing, and she's like, "You want me to read this?" And they're like, "Yeah." She's like, "What about our thing?" And they're like, "What thing? Got it in writing?"
Rick
Wanna
Berman,
get
is that
paid?
you?
Why was Legolas in the movie? That was really dumb, too.
He was Legolas. Legolas was there so that we could say Legolas was there.
Yes. I mean, Legolas would have been around at the time of The Hobbit.
Yeah, they did literally go to Legolas's house, to be fair. They go to Legolas's house in the books. It's just that we didn't know who Legolas was yet. They go to Thranduil's kingdom, which is where he lives. That's his spot.
Yeah. He just wasn't the main character. Tis all. He was
No,
a
Lord of the
nobody.
Rings was so good, and then The Hobbit was okay.
Well, what they should have done, the original Lord of the Rings should have been a trilogy of trilogies, and then The Hobbit could have been a single movie. Like they stretched it. There wasn't enough material in The Hobbit to make a trilogy, but they had to make it a trilogy because they made the first series a trilogy, right?
Yeah, it was
But there was
dumb.
so much content in Lord of the Rings, they could have easily made it more than 3 movies.
I don't think
I-
so.
I don't agree at all.
I do not think so. Honestly, the
Unless you
special
wanted to
editions
include all
drag.
the singing. There was a lot of singing in the books that we didn't get. Because why?
Yeah, it is a shame they cut out the
Alright.
singing. At least we got the singing
Well-
in The Hobbit.
There
that
was a
was
little
good.
singing.
Well,
That was like the
my point
good part
is
of the Hobbit.
The Hobbit didn't have enough content to be 3 movies.
Yeah, that's for sure. but honestly, the Lord of the Rings extended editions did drag a bit.
Yeah,
The movie
Yeah, well, I
format
watched it
doesn't
just
really.
recently.
Why
and
would they cut
work
out the
well
death
for-
of
I
a
felt
primary
they were okay.
antagonist from the theatrical cut? We didn't see Saruman die. Why?
you
did?
wanted
What?
you
In the
That is
theatrical
weird.
cut, Saruman's
Yeah, I've
death
only
is
seen
not
the
in.
extended versions.
you would have rather have had a Game of Thrones style series for Lord of the Rings, which would probably have the same amount of hours as a trilogy of trilogies.
I like
remember
that
this
ship.
I don't
That is a
think
good
so.
ship. I like how
Like the-
flat it is. It looks like a flounder.
The book format is better suited for longer stories than movies. Like, no one wants to watch a movie, that much movie, I don't think.
Honestly, the extended editions are already too long for me.
Yeah,
I skip
like
bits
I
of
was
it.
saying that, they drag a bit.
I,
like,
Well,
I
imagine
skip
if
all
they
the
broke it
Frodo
up.
and
The
Sam
Fellowship
bits.
is
Imagine if
really
they broke
good,
it
I
up into more
thought,
movies.
but the
I don't want three more
Fellowship-
movies.
Seems like you're agreeing
the,
with
like,
me,
Return
just
of
in
the
a roundabout
King-
way.
was a bit too long, I thought. It had a bunch of unnecessarily long action scenes. Hell, even Helm's Deep was too long. Honestly, it was really egregious. I wonder what percentage of the non-theatrical cut the Helm's Deep battle is.
Is that the evil guy from Shawshank Redemption?
I don't know. Never seen it.
Okay, I mean, why have you not seen it? It's a classic. It's really good.
Why is Archer wearing a suit?
Because
not?
they obviously
Or
were
like,
just
it's not a
fitting in.
suit. I don't know what kind of outfit that's called.
It's
but
a
people wear
away
those in real
team
life
outfit.
as part of a suit.
Oh, so it is Shawshank
This guy
Redemption.
has fishing lures
We're all guilty.
attached to his
We're all
head.
innocent.
Those are definitely fishing lures.
Yep. Okay, that's the evil guy from Shawshank. Just checked.
So you can't be the NXO1 in the previous image before. So NXO1 has that, I don't even know what it really is, but that engineering type thing connected between the cells. So it's probably a concept art for it.
So how about that weather?
Well, it's
It's
pretty
alright.
okay.
We got a blizzard coming.
Actually, I'd say it's peak. We're around 32 degrees. Somewhat sunny.
I think we should
Fahrenheit.
adopt the Chinese method of weather control
That could be cool. Maybe.
and just
As long
shoot
as the weather control
shoot
it
the
for
clouds
cold,
with
I'm
artillery.
happy. As long as it's cold,
To
I'm
make them
happy.
cry? What? What's your plan here?
Disperse them. That's what the Chinese did when they had the Olympics. If there was rain clouds coming, they shot them with artillery to try and disperse them.
There's no way that would have worked.
Well, you
There's
They
can
didn't
no
use
way.
normal artillery. Here, let me Google how they did it.
I think they had. There's also you can do like seeding with like.
I
what is
don't
it?
think they used
Silver
artillery
iodide?
to launch it, though. I think they dropped something.
They like
planes.
actual artillery,
Hang on.
like actual artillery cannons.
I don't believe you.
Yeah, it happened.
Mm,
Not so big and tough
not
now, are
saying
you,
it was-
Mr. Nausicaan?
Yeah.
According to the Guardian, apparently they made it rain using cloud seeding
Yeah, that's
to
standard.
reduce pollution or something. Here.
China clouds.
Like, they definitely have some sort of
artillery.
weather modification system, but I don't think they use artillery.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, well, all governments at this point know how to like seed clouds. That's standard now.
Mhm. Yeah,
I'm not sure about. Yeah,
I don't think they use
shooting it with
artillery
a gun.
to seed the clouds. Like people say a lot of dumb bullshit about China.
Mhm.
It wasn't like a secret. It wasn't like a rumor. It was a thing that actually they did. Here, I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm googling for artillery here.
Beijing to shoot down Olympic rain, June 9th, 2006.
Thank you.
So I can see people or in articles saying they plan to shoot the artillery. I don't see anybody saying it worked.
I didn't say it worked. I said that they they used it.
They tried to nuke the hurricane.
That would just make a nuclear hurricane, and it would just spread fallout
Yes, I
everywhere.
know.
Anyway, here you go.
Paul, are you
I'll send it to
threatening a
you.
local governor? I don't think you're allowed to do that.
Archer does that all the time.
Yeah, but he's the captain. She's just she's acting captain. She's not even part of Starfleet. She's representing humanity when she can't represent humanity.
See, I said silver iodide. So, using 2 aircraft and an array of 20 artillery and rocket launchers around Beijing, the city's weather engineers will shoot and spray silver iodide and dry ice into oncoming clouds that are still far away enough that their rain will be flushed out before they reach the stadium. There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Okay. Okay, that might be more interesting. But when you say they shot artillery at it, what I'm picturing is they
But
loaded
they
artillery
literally shot
shells.
artillery at it. Well, they were artillery shells. They just had silver iodide inside.
You know exactly what I mean. That they like tried to destroy the clouds just by firing a gun at it.
Well, that's effectively what they did.
All right, we had a ride. Success. So, yeah, small problem. Archer and him were just going to be released, but now they have a whole nother problem to deal with. Great.
Yeah.
And there's a vampire sitting behind Archer. Why is there a vampire?
What's the deal with Nausicaans?
They like to punch stuff.
They're pirates.
What do you mean, what's the deal with Nausicaans?
They seem
Why don't
very
you
That
just
calm.
sounds a
carry the
bit
guns on you?
specious to me. What about you, Ryan? Does it sound specious to you?
Little bit.
Why are you so narrow-minded?
Why is there... Okay, I'm trying to figure out the species here. The guy who just talked looks like a discount Klingon, that guy. There's also a vampire next to Archer. There's that guy who's the worst.
It
And
seems
the
like
guy
you just pushed the
behind
button.
The guy behind Archer looks a little bit like a Zabrak to me. Yeah, there's the vampire.
From Star Wars?
Yeah. Why not? We had the Millennium Falcon in a Star Trek movie. We could have a Zabrak. Was Darth Maul, did he paint himself red or was he just red?
We literally was having this conversation earlier. I think it's
it's-
just tattoos or something.
Tattoos, yeah. When they show that
Okay.
race, they don't have the coloring.
Yeah, most
In other
Zabrak are
instances-
just beige.
Yeah, flesh colored.
Greenish.
Some kind of
a lot
flesh
them are
color.
green.
Well, it's their flesh color, so you know.
A lot of them green, a lot of them are grey or tan.
Honestly, the only other Zabrak I remember distinctly is Beodor. I think I know we see more, but the only one I really remember is Bayo.
He expects him to immediately know what the controls are. You said you were a pilot. Now pilot.
How do you even read that display?
The universal translator is beaming it into his head. It's reading his intent. His intent is to read this control, so that it reads it and it feeds it to him.
So, and we say Hoshi is the smartest human alive, but I mean Archer here's not doing bad for himself. How can he possibly do this?
Well, imagine you got into like a car, right? But all the buttons were written in a different language.
And are in different places and are different shapes, and there's a lot more of them.
Maybe.
But you know the basic
but
principles.
you'd probably be able to figure it out, pretty well.
I'm not certain of that.
Are you familiar with driving a car?
I am, yes.
Okay, good. If I were to put you in like a bulldozer, do you think you could figure it out?
Sure, I could figure out a bulldozer, but that's basically just a bigger car.
Well, you say that, but there isn't a steering wheel in a bulldozer. It's skid steer, so you're going to have, 2 levers. You're going to have a whole bunch of controls for all the other stuff.
Ah, yes, we're all innocent here. Boggs. This is the second time Boggs has shown up in Star Trek, at least. He was also a murderer in TNG. In the episode where there was the suicide and then Troy had her hallucinations. And Worf walks into a door.
Troy hallucinating.
It's more likely than you think.
I don't plan on going back.
I want to see
He
if this
just
guy
escaped from
literally in
space
his
prison.
entire career has played a hero. Or any kind of good guy.
No.
His name is Mark Rolston. He was Private Drake in Aliens, but I've never seen Aliens, so that means nothing to me.
Surprised you
In
haven't seen
Aliens?
Yeah, Private Drake.
Yeah, he probably died. Well, I mean, they all died except for Sigourney Weaver, so...
In Spider-Man, the
And Bill
2018 video
Patterson, I
game,
think.
he played Norman Osborn.
And that girl.
He played Willem Dafoe.
How does that take it offline to smash
Don't
it?
worry about it.
That's not the actual transceiver, you idiot.
Look, if you need
Well, that's
to,
the
if
thing
someone's
commanding the
hacking your
transceiver
computer,
to send...
if someone's hacking your computer, they're tracing your IP, and they're gonna hack into the mainframe. Just punch your monitor. That's what you do.
I was wondering where that was going.
Did you ever see the
No,
movie Hackers?
Now, not only have you lost your approach on your monitor, but you've done nothing about the hack, and you don't do anything to stop it.
Have
He
you
was
have you
Del
seen the movie
Rio in
Hackers?
Halo 4, who was kind of a villain. No, I have not.
So, yeah, we should watch the movie Hackers, because if you think that sounds funny, you gotta see what they do in Hackers. It's hilarious. And there's a quarter of a second where you get to see Angelina Jolie.
All right,
Well,
don't
anyway.
make it weird. He played a bunch of roles in Dragon Age Origins, but I don't know any of their names. I don't know who Lord Darvianek Volny is. He was in Zorro.
What one of the most interesting things about that movie was that the lead character Dade Wilson. Like his actor was like up and coming, and they're like, oh, this guy's gonna be huge. And then Angelina Jolie became huge, and he disappeared. Like I don't know what he ended up doing. It's kind of funny. Well, it helps. I think Angelina Jolie's parents are like famous actors too. They always change their names so it doesn't look like nepotism, but it is.
Can we just kill that guy? He's just the worst. Archer's trying to sound cool and like a big hard criminal, so he's just making his voice a little deeper. We used to work mostly in the soul system.
You do if you were trying to be a bad dude.
What do you mean? I am a bad dude.
Oh,
I'm so hardcore.
I see.
This is why I make Star Trek videos and play Oblivion.
Really the worst dude.
I wonder how they could have possibly got a distress call from that transceiver when you smashed the screen. That's impossible. It's not gonna work. Something intake manifold, probably. Gonna flood it, with gas.
It looks like one of the old concepts for the blockade runner from Star Wars. Yeah, those are fishing lures. That's horrible.
And the Nausicaan?
No, on the awful guy. So a lot of fishing lures are like impregnated with scent so that the fish can smell them. So that must have been terrible. Here, put on this like rotting fish smelling mask right next to your mouth and nose.
Now, you're not allowed to fake surrender. That's against the rules. All right, now just
patrol
leave.
ships look pretty cool.
They look like snow speeders a little bit.
Well, we're extending the Star Wars analogies, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, it's farting on us. The ship is
Yeah,
farting on us.
Intake manifold. It's always the intake manifold.
Now, do they shoot it? They look like Cylon Raiders from Battlestar Galactica reboot.
Kind of.
I'm Archer's being totally reasonable here, even if he were a criminal. Just leave. Don't antagonize them further. Just leave. They can't come after you.
This guy.
Just
We need to get
kill
him some Actane. Get him some Actane for those bumps.
I think the terrible guy survives this episode tragically.
He did the least he could do. So have you guys watched the Battlestar Galactica
Aren't they making another reboot? Because I haven't seen that yet because it doesn't
Yeah.
exist yet.
I never finished the Caprica show. I started watching it and it just kind of got weird. I mean, even for me, and I was like, this is weird.
I watched
It was like
the 4 seasons of the
polygamy
regular
and
show. I
stuff.
didn't watch any of the supplementary.
Yeah. The episode where Starbuck like scoops the brain out of a Cylon Raider and then
Yeah.
plugs the hole with her spacesuit and somehow figures out how to like control the ship by yanking on
Nerves.
ligaments and veins and yeah. I was like, this is come on.
Gotta suspend your disbelief a little bit.
Look, I suspend my disbelief as long as the things make sense in the context of the show, and like that was just way over the top. I mean, come on. They're supposed to be a living animal. Imagine scooping the brain out of a living animal and like pulling on nerves and expecting it to have some type of
Morrowind moment.
controllable response.
That's how they
Morrowind?
operate the stilt striders, by cutting their brains open and playing with their nerves.
Yeah, but that's different. They didn't remove
Why
the
is it
brain and
different?
then just like directly connect to the brainstem and yank on nerves. Well, so they've done experiments where they electrically stimulate different parts of people's brain while they're conscious, and you get a response. Things happen. So that.
Boggs, why are you always evil? Why can't you just play a nice guy for once?
Because he's so good at it.
But you already have a ship. Oh, no, that's a fair point. There's... Maybe don't fly around in a stolen ship. What are those nodules on his forehead supposed to be there?
So there's an obvious question here. How can each of these species understand each other?
Don't you dare
Oh.
apologize, Trip. Dang it. Just beat him over the head with
Look,
your
see, he's
handcuffs.
a perfect gentleman. Like,
Sure. We know just how much of a perfect
See,
gentleman he is.
Knowing
really is.
Trip, this alien is probably already in love with him. Now he's scorned.
Oh, come on, man. You need to keep up your strength. You can't fight
He's
off guards if you're
inordinate
starving to
amount
death.
of concern for his criminal friend.
Also, why are you holding the gun? Put it down. Quit pointing it at Archer. What's wrong with you? Oh, now we get his
and does
tragic
this episode have a
backstory.
lot to say about the prison industrial complex?
This bit's going to be about how people who are introduced to the system young tend to stay in the system, and it's a whole thing, and it's a downward spiral.
Do you think Enterprise can pull off that kind of a story?
You tell me. We're having it right now. He didn't even do it. Good job, prison system. You turned an innocent man into a criminal. You did it.
Yes. Well, that is the way of American prison system.
Why are you still holding the gun? Are you planning to shoot Archer? Leave him alone. Kill him. That seems like a solid plan to me. I'm into it. Yeah, just kill him.
They need
Use their
some
body.
bodies.
Oh,
They need some extra bodies in here.
well, if it's incinerated completely, there won't be any bodies.
You hope, but you
Well,
probably
it's
be a good idea
unlikely
to
to
have
be-
at least.
It's unlikely to have no bodies when crashing into a planet.
Oh, they found him. It's probably all gonna be okay.
Why would you drop to impulse before being in the system?
They want to take their time. Take in the sights. Yes. Freedom. Freedom at last. If we let the ship spiral and decay and destroy itself, the annoying guy will die. Archer, you have to consider the benefits. Let's make a pro and cons list. Pro, that guy dies. And we're done. That's enough of a list for me. Wait, why? Why are we magnifying?
Just to see it better.
All right, shoot him. For some reason, this ship it's kind of the same shape as a Cardassian ship, but it's flat.
Honey, it's 4 p.m.
Okay.
It's clearly just an LCD he's punching.
Yeah, I like that telltale, like, waves around where he presses it.
Yeah.
What causes that?
It's
The liquid
you're
crystal's
bending.
going all screwy.
Yeah, you're bending the. Is it glass in LCD?
How does a test flight pilot become captain of a starship?
Because he was trained in. He was a captain or whatever beforehand.
He was a commander.
Commander at the time.
AG said basically that they also have to like train how to be good leaders,
Yeah.
not just pilots. I guess it's he was a double major.
Do you think they'll ever make a Starfleet Academy show? They've been wanting to do this forever.
All right, hit him again.
Yeah, keep hitting him until there's just a pink mush.
Trip, you have a gun. Shoot that guy. Not the Nausicaan, the annoying guy. Just shoot him.
Oh,
He
Why?
saved you so much
Idiots.
trouble.
He's a perfect gentleman. He wouldn't be a perfect gentleman if he did that.
Look
You
out.
can't be a perfect gentleman and shoot someone for being annoying.
Well, I'm happy to disregard the perfect gentleman bit.
Yeah, but you said it so many times now. Work.
Right, their friends are here. That's good.
Mhm.
In the breast he can.
You know,
That-
Mr. Bad Guy, you need to make sure that your friends aren't actually my friends.
That shuttle, it looks a little bit like a Xindi shuttle. I wonder if it's a reused ship.
If
I'm
it's a
shocked
Xindi
that
shuttle, they
Enterprise
chop
reuses
the
ships.
things off the
Apparently they
side.
do.
They chop them up. Like, remember when they had the Warbird that they had chopped? Like, it was just the top half and without the front
Yeah.
piece.
And
Brian,
this shuttle,
did you figure out if the triangle ship that's coming up is CG or if it's reused footage from the older shows?
I don't know. It'll be a surprise.
If so, it might be the only physical model in Star Trek Enterprise.
Of course, it's
That's not
Starfleet.
true at all. We've already seen one triangle ship.
Oh,
Which
Who's
was-
dual wielding a phaser?
which one?
Yeah, it's fine. We saw one triangle ship that had crashed on a
Oh.
planet, and that was physical.
I'm gonna use the prisoners as cover.
I'm surprised in
shoot
the
the
age of CGI
prisoners.
that they
It's- they're-
reuse ships.
They're just on stun. Well, CGI still takes time and effort, and so like
They have the
building a
ship.
new model is a lot harder than just taking an existing model and like chopping some bits off of it and spinning it the other way around or whatever, so you don't
Yeah, but you have to
recognize it
film it
immediately.
again.
You don't film it; you just render it. That's all automated. I mean,
Yeah, the rendering does take a bit of time, but
yeah, it takes time, but it doesn't
not
take
compared with like building and reshooting a
man-hours.
model.
Right.
So that's why I said I'm surprised that Enterprise reuses ships.
No, I'm not.
Hell, Discovery reuses ships. I'm shocked by it.
Everything
Like,
costs
Picard
money.
used the Discovery shuttlecraft.
If you want to make a new model, you have to pay the 3D artist to make that model. Why? When
Yeah.
you have existing assets, you just tweak it a little bit, save some money, save some time,
Do you know
and
what the
reuse it.
budget is for these shows?
Well, obviously
They
they
could
spent it
easily
on
afford
something
it.
else. Every
But
penny they spend on
if
CG
they
is a
afford
penny
that,
they
they
couldn't
can-
spend on the sets.
Yeah,
Or the
spend it on
actors,
some-
or-
save some money one place, put it to someone else, something else.
Only extreme geeks like us notice shit like this shuttle is it's a chopped up piece of a warbird, or
I'm sure everybody noticed in the Picard final that all the ships were copy pasted. And it was really awkward. I don't know why
everybody
they just
noticed
didn't
it,
have a
and
1v1
everybody-
with Riker's ship versus the Romulan ship instead of copy
And
pasting them a million
everybody-
times.
Shit all over it because Alex Kurtzman wanted a giant battle. He wanted a giant grand battle, and
But they didn't even
he didn't-
fight. There were just lots of ships.
yeah, well, that's the look he was going for. I never said
Insane.
Alex Kurtzman was smart. No one ever accused Alex Kurtzman of being smart or good at his job.
Well, do we have to save Boggs?
Well, I mean, you know the answer to that is no, we don't.
What
Just
is it
let him
going to
die.
take to get Riker into Discovery to save the day? Because that seems to be
In
his thing now.
Discovery? Well,
What
aren't they
define
like?
in
Do you
Discovery?
think
Like,
they could
well,
Golem Riker
aren't they like
somehow?
600 years
Make him into a
in the future?
Soong-type robot?
I hate that. I hate that.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I hate it, but like it needs
Picard
to happen.
Picard is dead.
They
the
could
Picard
have
in Picard is
hologram
just a
Riker
puppet.
as a training program.
Yeah, he could be a hologram. Great idea. Like he
Oh,
can be the
God.
emergency command hologram.
The Picard in Picard
Oh,
is
but it's gotta be-
the
It's gotta
emergency
be a
jazz
hologram.
hologram.
It's gotta
He
be a
can, like, Riker
hologram of
maneuver all over
first
everything.
season Riker, first
No.
season TNG Riker,
No.
clean shaven
No.
with the spandex.
no.
Yes.
No.
Why?
Well,
Why not?
Because it's awful.
Well,
TNG
that's the
season Riker
version
was
you
the
get.
worst.
Oh, see that box there that has like the two circular indents on the top? That's a cooler. And those are cup holders. So they painted it gray and like weathered it a little bit.
And there's some
Those are, like,
self-replicating
the
mines in here as
bulkiest
well.
handcuffs I've ever seen.
Yeah, those are some what you call it, wormhole mines from Deep Space Nine.
Yep,
They're just
yep.
painted gray.
Really?
Why not? We
What
got
other
the prop.
props do they reuse? Yeah. So many props get reused. Remember when they
I
had
kinda
the
look at
exocom
Worf. Those are definitely Worf barrels painted brown.
Wharf barrels?
They're very
Well,
shiny.
that's an oil drum there, not the water barrel. Let's see.
There's a bunch of
Let's
different
see if
The
we
barrels.
see a
Worf
water
barrel is
barrel.
under another barrel. It has a very specific lip.
It has a like a bulge in the middle. It's a water barrel. If you just do a search for blue water barrel, that's what the wharf barrel is. They're like $250 a piece. They buy them.
Oh,
They
that's a
slap
lot of money.
a fucking Starfleet logo on them.
That's really
I
expensive.
bet you- I see that box is on next to him again. I bet you they only had one of them and they kept moving it around for each shot.
That's funny.
Oh, we need it in this shot. Move it over here.
So yeah, I really need to know if the triangle ship is CG or not.
The triangle ship in Enterprise?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
it's a
triangle
CG.
ship
If it's
in
an Enterprise, it's CG. Everything in Enterprise
So did they
is CG.
scan it or did they recreate it? Like they could
They
easily
re-
just
they-
reuse the composite
They re-
footage and with
they
the CGI
recreated it,
ships. It works
no.
fine. They did this in Voyager and Deep Space Nine all the time. If so, did they redo it for like the earlier shows? Like maybe for Voyager they redid it. Like did they? That's insane.
There were some shots at the end of
Corona's
DS9 that
dead.
would have been easier with
Can
the
only
CG
wish.
triangle ship. Like there's a bunch of them together.
Mhm.
Like when Kira's doing her blockade of Derna. The
Just
moon
because
that
it's
the
more than
Romulans
one doesn't mean
fortified.
it's CG though, because it's all composite footage.
But it would
Well, this
probably
guy-
be
this
easier
guy
in that case if it
Got
was
told
CG.
off. He's got his tail between his legs now.
Did you know that there's a
No.
Deep Space Nine in CG, but it's only used once in the entire show?
Yeah, it's the finale when
Mhm.
they pull out
Yeah.
from the window. Yeah, and you can definitely tell.
Yeah, it looks a little weird.
The CG stuff at that time, it all looked like a little too, like, clean. You know, like a little.
Honestly,
too...
the CG in DS9 and Voyager is pretty seamless, I thought.
1 minute to the
that shot
crossing,
in Deep
everyone
Space
queue up.
Nine.
There's a shot of the Voyager.
For the ships, not for like the
When-
like Odo effect or the species 8472s. Those looked really weird, or even worse, the macrovirus.
Or the macroviruses. There's a shot of Voyager, a CG shot of Voyager, where it's like turning away from us with the dorsal side facing us, and the texture didn't load on the bottom. So there's like this
Oh, no.
weird tile on the bottom of the ship that has like it's like a
You
missing
had to post that
texture.
on. I need to see that.
And it's used over and over again. Let's see, missing
Really?
texture.
How have I never seen
Voyager.
this? I've seen Voyager over twice.
Star. They probably figured nobody was going to notice at
Looks like you
television
noticed.
resolutions. Well, yeah, it's a pretty well-known thing.
I've never heard of it.
I try
Everyone
to
queued
find
up for the crossing. Get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What are we going to cross?
We're not gonna cross anything. There's some like space ghost aliens that are gonna cross to the physical realm.
The Metrons? Or the
No, different space
Organians?
ghosts. No, other different
It's
space
really,
ghosts.
it's really hard to see. Apparently,
It's
this
really
is
sad
this is
that-
I'm gonna send it to you directly, or I guess I can.
Oh,
I
is
don't
this
know-
the
I
ship
don't
that
know what these
bores
guys'
the
names are.
Enterprise?
Yeah.
Yes.
Though I
It's
would
really-
prefer
This
if you
is-
didn't describe it like that. That's weird.
It,
But yes.
it's really
There's no
sad.
missing texture. Where is it?
It's there. So this is Amlin's CGI model showing
not
its missing
seeing it.
texture in the title sequence. It's in the title sequence. You can see it.
Oh.
There's 6 shots in the opening title sequence. 3 of them had the CG ship that we built. The other had other 3 had practical models. The 3 that had the CG ship, where the one where it goes by the sun, the one where it goes through the smoky particle stuff, and the last one where it jumps to warp.
I don't see the
We
missing
always-
texture though. Where is it?
We always use beta software, meant the new version of Lightwave. Oh, Lightwave is such a horrible thing to use. Blah, blah, blah. We tend to have some bugs. As we were modeling Voyager, some of it was being done on an Amiga
But
version.
where?
Some was being done on SGI version. It's right on the bottom. I'll circle it
Wait,
for you.
Voyager was
I
rendered
don't
on
see it.
Amiga?
The final shot. Yeah, the final shot. Not like the consumer Amiga. Well, anyway, they probably made a Beowulf cluster of Amigas, but they're probably more powerful than like consumer ones. That happens in the final shot where the belly tips up towards us and Voyager goes to warp. Something that you don't really pick up on unless you know it's there. But if you look at the bottom of the ship, there are these 3 darker patches that aren't supposed to be there.
Hey, review.
It's where there are some parts and hull plating that made it into the title sequence. So those 3 darker panels on the bottom are actually missing textures.
Are they?
They look
Well, that's
fine.
the thing, is like they look fine. That's probably why they left
They
it
look
in, but
completely
this-
fine.
it's
This
actually
things.
missing stuff.
Oh, do they
there.
have
So
like
let's-
little orange things
This
in
is
the
what it's
physical model?
supposed to look like. The physical model had its mounting point there, and they had a plug that when they mounted it from the top,
Oh.
they put a plug in there that had greebling and texture that cover up the hole. But so
see.
here's the bottom of the Voyager, and you can see where those dark panels are. There is actually not supposed to be a dark panel.
Yeah, who
Dark
knew the
panels look fine,
Voyager
don't worry
was
about it.
was rendered on an Amiga?
Well,
This is amazing.
Babylon 5 was done on Amigas. Probably Deep Space Nine too.
Babylon 5 looks way worse
Wait,
than.
how would you not be able to tell that
Voyager.
they're not out of warp because you can't penetrate the hull? Warp is a completely different thing that's external onto the hull.
Yeah, whoever was in charge of Babylon 5 really fucked up in comparison to Deep Space
What if-
Nine's
It's a good point, Selma.
CGI.
What if Enterprise just turned slightly to the left?
It's just a jump to the left.
So it would probably be a bad idea to go to warp now because, you know, they're gonna die.
Oh right, they can't tell that they're dropped out of warp or not because they're inside the hull.
Can they not
Something-
scan for a warp bubble? What
Something-
happens when a
they
warp
did, but they
bubble
can't
is
penetrate the
consumed by
hull.
another warp bubble?
Just hope no one bursts that warp bubble.
So those
Hate
are
to burst
the
your bubble.
those are the space ghosts, the little clouds flying around.
Yes.
They're very spooky.
Yeah, I kind
Oh,
of hate
there's some
this
CG
episode.
people. Wait,
Yeah.
Did we
Yes.
watch this?
I
Is
hate
that
the
the-
CG people.
The CG.
It
Yeah,
people are
looks
terrible
somewhat
in this.
green screen.
This
Did we do this for Halloween?
It's not
No.
bad green screen actually. Not too bad.
The green screen's fine.
It's in line with all the other effects from the other series. Like it's definitely not a downgrade.
But I do wish they had
Anytime,
higher matte painting.
the screen.
so
The green screen
anytime,
here had to be an absolute nightmare, given they have transparent helmets that you have to see the other side through.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a little difficult, but they are on a dark background, so that's a plus. Putting doing green screen onto a dark background is easier than on a lighter background. So
Yeah, but even the way the light reflects and stuff is so annoying. Like, but what I was gonna say was though, this season, as we round
look
it
carefully when their helmet turns. I think the background kind of disappears, and they might have just manually matted that out and just put something behind it. Oh god, this
They're not
CG
the
is terrible.
Organians or the Metrons. What are they? What's the third space ghost?
out. It's
So
they don't have a name, I believe.
does this episode make Souls canon?
Souls were
Souls are
already
already
canon
kind of
because of
canon.
Yeah.
Vulcans.
Is of Katras?
Yes.
True.
Stupid Vulcans.
Souls are already canon because of what? That hasn't
Vulcan
happened yet.
Katras.
The Katra.
Well, has it
Yeah, that
happened
ha-
yet? That
We
hasn't
don't know if
happened yet.
humans
that-
have souls, though.
That happened in the original TOS movies, man. That was
But this
the search
hasn't
for
happened
Spock.
yet in the timeline. In
Okay.
They
this
still
episode.
have
Chronology.
the souls didn't suddenly pop into being in 30 years.
They talk about Katras in season 4. Because
Well, yeah,
season
they
4
have
is
the
full of
Forge.
canon.
The Forge, part 1 and 2. I know.
That's one of the few really good episodes of Star Trek Enterprise, I think.
Interestingly enough, right? In Buddhism, Buddha taught that like
You can
is
possess
no
someone as a spooky ghost.
there is no soul. And in Hinduism, it is a dogma that there is a soul and it reincarnates. Now, what reincarnates if you don't have a soul is a big question that I don't have the answer to. But what I'm saying is
so go ahead.
nothing. Just that in theory, right? Like, I mean, so one time I was just having a discussion with my friend from India who was kind of into Hinduism, but like kind of a synthesis between Islam and Hinduism. They had their own sect. And so he said, though, that the Buddha taught there was no soul, right? Because we're talking in New York in English. And I said, well, no, actually, he said there's no Atma, ATMA, which is the Hindi word for what we would call the soul. But there might be like, so we shouldn't assume that a Katra, I'm not correcting Ryan per se, because he runs the show, but we shouldn't assume that the Katra is the soul.
They say explicitly in
I
the
think
show
it's
that
like-
it's the Vulcan soul.
Okay.
Well, I think it's maybe better described as like an imprint of the mind, because I don't
what Data does to bring back Data in Picard, just like that.
I don't like the idea of there being an immutable essence of your being inside of you. It just doesn't make sense.
And non-physical.
Sorry.
essence.
Well-
There's no such thing. There's no such thing.
Star Trek says there is, therefore there must be.
Star Trek
Yeah,
also
this whole
exists
episode-
inside of the mind of Benny Russell. So
well, yeah, this whole this
Ah,
whole
here's
episode
the
is
relevant quote. I did a regular expression search. Tuvok says, Vulcans believe that a person's Katra, what some might call a soul, continues to exist after the body dies. Though apparently he doesn't really believe that anymore.
Tuvok?
Yeah, Tuvok. When I was younger, I
Changed
accepted it
his
without
mind.
question. In recent years, I have experienced doubts.
Hmm.
you know
Well, maybe he should
it's
find
it's
a
tough question.
person to store his Katra in.
Like I have a friend who's a futurist, and he says like if you can just like get slices of your brain to like regrow,
Oh God.
you can just like recreate yourself, and we
Nah.
don't have
I
to
don't
do it
think so.
digitally.
No,
With a
sounds
single
insane.
neuron, you can recreate
your
an
friend,
entire
your friend's an
mind.
idiot.
Yeah, I mean, look, the thing is though, look, if we don't have a soul, how do we replicate our consciousness? We can do it biologically, or we can do it digitally. And right now, we're going towards digital.
You'd have to be able.
his
You'd have to
theory
be
is
able
that-
to. You'd have to be able to scan. This is
The
the
entire
problem.
brain.
Like
I like that
where you
effect.
have like where
That's a
they
good
talk about
choice.
the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. You'd have to be able to scan like the quantum state of all of the chemical compounds in someone's brain,
right.
and you have to be able to recreate the actual
Exact.
physical architecture of someone's brain and have all the chemicals in there at the right.
And at the quantum level. But,
So forget
But
it.
you know, I'm leaving that aside. what I was gonna say, you know, about that like fancy futurism sci-fi stuff is that like this season of Enterprise, right? Like you see a show in its raw essence. You know, this is the exploration, new life, new civilizations. Later it gets dark, you know, with the Expanse and you know hunting for the enemy and torturing
So
people.
I was just thinking about this, and I was gonna save it for when it came up, but since you mentioned the Expanse, I feel like the reason why I like the Zindi arc, but I know a lot of people didn't like the Zindi arc, and I think where they made a misstep was that they didn't fully commit to the serialized storytelling. They took the Zindi arc and they overlaid it over a bunch of episodic episodes, like the episode where they evolved into those other creatures and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
that could have been a standalone episode that didn't have to take place in the Expanse. That could have happened
Right.
anywhere.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh yeah, we're also searching for the Zindi at the same time. There was too many episodes like that. They needed
True.
to just commit to the Zindi arc and every
Make
episode
it
be
clean.
wholly about the Zindi arc. Like when they found
But
that guy
they
that
do
wanted
that
to
in
like
Discovery and
kidnap
Picard, and
Hoshi.
everyone got real mad about it.
They did
Yeah, I
what?
fucking hate that.
They completely dedicated to an arc and left out the episodic stuff, and everyone got mad at them.
It's terrible.
Well, that's the thing is like you have to. All right, you can't.
Hey, that is
You
a really
can't
great
take-
thing on his breakfast plate. Like, wow, I can't believe I want to eat that good.
You can't
You
necessarily
okay, Charlie?
take the
Yeah.
feedback of people who don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, that's what this is about because he just can't. I mean, yeah, Robo. I mean, you're right. You have to do it right. Like, sorry, I don't mean to speak over you, as though like we have to say it's not.
Well, it's a problem. Like one of the games I used to play,
Wait,
that I
have
haven't
you
played
guys
in a
ever
while.
tried that?
Taking what? Eating what?
It's just a piece of
It's
bread.
white. That's white bread. It's supposed to proper
You,
wholemeal
you
bread.
have to toast it at least. But I do like eating.
Well, the
bread.
thing is, like
I love
when
bread.
someone not from the United States eats American white bread, it tastes like cake to them, probably.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
but
We
like
also-
put so much sugar
white
in
bread.
our white
like
bread.
plain.
American
Like,
white
I
bread.
like white bread fine if it's like toasted or put on something,
Right.
but I don't like white bread plain. I don't think anyone really does.
I have a loaf in the oven.
Now,
We
okay,
cook it.
at this point, how quickly do they determine he's
God, you're
possessed
so
by a
lucky. I
spooky
wish I had
ghost?
homemade bread.
Compared to the assumption that he just like had a mental break and needs to see the doctor immediately.
This is the same ghost that
well,
inhabited
they
Deanna.
saw him go into him the first time, so they're suspecting the same thing.
Well,
This
anyway,
is cool though because this is like the Deanna episodes, like the Menage a Troy, you know, and the other ones because like whenever the aliens come, they always like order the fudge, the triple fudge.
what were we talking about? I forgot.
Well, what I want to talk about is how these guys built a ship when they exist in subspace
Yes.
and don't have hands.
They built it a long time ago when they did have hands.
It's been a long road getting from there
No,
to
they
here.
possessed people
They
to make
they
it for
took it
them.
from someone. Yeah, they took it from someone else. Maybe who knows?
Is that a Voth ship? Looks a little
Your review, your
Vothy.
bread looks awesome.
Thanks.
I would definitely.
Yeah, I only cook in cast iron, so only since like 2016 have I gotten.
Yeah,
to it.
me too. I'm a cast iron
Um,
person. I don't bake much though.
I'm kind of new to cooking though, but like now, I would love to be Neelix or like chef on a starship. Like, it was just,
You
it's
probably
fun.
don't want to. It's probably
It's
so
fun.
stressful.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
Like, it's one thing to cook for like a few people, but it's
I
a
wanna-
nightmare cooking for a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I want to run a restaurant, but it's really difficult. But sorry, this scene is really intense because they have to confront him, and he's like, not even. This is the first time he actually confesses to being someone else.
Hmm.
Because before he's like, I'm Trip. What do you mean? And you'll have
All
a
right,
right
they let him go. Now return trip and leave. Go to warp. Just leave.
back.
GTFO.
There's Trip. That's Trip's soul, apparently. That's what his soul looks like.
Katra.
So I really like the idea of the Zindi, like the aliens. They're pretty cool. But the Zindi arc fails, in my opinion,
the
just
Zindi
because
arc,
of the wacky motivations that the Zindi
Oh.
have, because of like the convoluted time travel,
So
and they have their knockoff Death
I
Star.
was-
It's just
I
kind of
was-
lame and boring.
I was talking about
like
feedback
I wish they
from
had
the
a
wrong.
real, like, actual personal conflict between Earth and the Zindi, or
Mhm,
Archer
mhm,
and the Zindi, and so
mhm,
this like extremely forced 9/11
mhm,
metaphor,
mhm.
Right.
and then this extremely cringy revenge plot, you know.
Mhm.
I was talking about
And then
feedback from the
when we
wrong
get
people.
to an episode, like I will lose my
Why the long
mind
pause?
because like the episode, it does
Why
not
not
know
a
what to
long
do with the
pause?
Archer character.
All right,
Yeah.
so I was talking about feedback from the wrong people, and what I meant was that, like, for instance, there was a game I used to play. A game developer was taking feedback from people who just didn't know how to play the game, and they were making the game worse. And another instance was there was a car company that was making a car that was just a small, compact, like city runabout, and they would
Runabout.
get
Why do you use
feedback.
that word? Why do you say that?
The people wanted more cargo space and they wanted more amenities and they wanted more, so they kept making it bigger and bigger and bigger, and what ended up happening was it went from being a cheap, affordable, economical, fuel efficient city runabout to something bigger and larger, and it was no longer in its original class, and people didn't buy it, and it just went away because they listened to the wrong feedback. They fundamentally changed what it was good
Very
at
hard.
by listening to feedback of people who were idiots.
So you're saying
you
Star
don't
Trek
listen to
writers
the,
shouldn't listen to your feedback about not including episodic episodes during a series arc?
no.
Um,
I'm saying the people who are complaining about
look,
the
we can.
non-episodic nature of a serialized show. Look, storytelling has changed since 1987. Okay, and yeah, the episodic stuff
2003, but
worked in that context.
Look,
Uh,
like the
uh,
you know what I kind of like though. I was talking to my mom about it. Like when you watch classic movies from the 60s and 70s, like even if a movie was an utter failure, like at the box office or critically, like when you look back at a classic actor, let's say Marlon Brando or something, it becomes a Marlon Brando film, even if it like wasn't famous. And so like it acquires like a classic taste, So like like even me, like I like to riff on the fact that this is all written by Rick Berman and Brandon Braga. But like, they kept this series going, and Ryan is the one who kind of introduced me to the idea that Enterprise is actually enjoyable to watch. But like we got a good show. We
Good show.
we actually did get like, and
No.
actually, and also the background is amazing, and it's because we got the showrunners of the show from late TNG all through Deep Space Nine and Voyager, and this is really like who better, I hate to like praise the studio or corporate daddy, but like who better to run the show and finish out all these plot points of how the Federation was created, how we got warp drive. Like I think warp 2, like in a later episode.
Wait, Reed,
like
Reed here's my main man. Yes, Reed, shoot it. Shoot the ghost. Okay, continue.
Warp 2 is like a big deal at the beginning of Archer's career, like Warp 2.5, like because the engine blows apart. His father's engine is considered a failure, so like we get some, so it's really cool that we get like a lot of the Pioneer era stuff. And, so that's the thing. Like at the time, it looks like, this is.
wow, Rick
they're doing
Berman.
everything
Rick
wrong.
Berman.
Yes.
This
He
is
wrote
so
that scene
wrong.
personally.
And
Yeah, loves Rick Berman.
Let me catch the turbo lift. I'm going
So
to
this
be
is-
back too.
Is he possessed by the soul of Rick Berman?
yeah, this doesn't work.
Well, you're not supposed to assume gender, right? So
He didn't. He asked.
That's why she said
exactly. That's why she's why is she acting so weird? It's the 22nd
Damn,
century.
huge fake out.
This should be
Reed is the alien.
like not assuming gender by external appearance should be normalized by now.
But yeah, he did chase after her and stop the door in the elevator in like a very,
He's a creep.
I'm coming. Yeah, a creepy way.
This is just Reed.
Oh, the slowest music
this
sounds so
Reed?
good with Star Trek.
That's not Reed.
Reed might be weird and awkward, but he doesn't like stalk people.
Yeah,
Oh
he
my
isn't a
God.
broccoli.
This is outrageous. Okay, yeah, I can't believe.
What did they do?
I
I
mean-
tapped out.
To be honest,
Oh God.
the thing between Tucker and T'Pol when they massage each other every night is even more
I
outrageous.
fucking hate that. I think that's
Then
part of
these
the
two
reason why I
scenes-
hate
these
season
two
3.
scenes are-
Honestly,
These two scenes are like part of a role because you're being possessed by an alien. The other is like, yeah, we're not being sexual at all, right?
Yeah,
Um,
season
kick off-
3's to Paul arc is one of the
Like-
worst things in all of Star Trek. I
So
think.
Paul's not even wearing a top, like when she's being massaged the first time by Tucker. So
well,
so it's just like she's like covering herself by crossing her arms. It's a little too much for a Star Trek show, if you ask me.
So this
I'm not afraid of you.
episode
I have 5
was
times your
written,
strength.
story by and teleplay by Rick Berman and Brandon Braga.
No.
And story also by Andre Bormani.
I look at what she's
I don't know who
wearing.
that
It's
is.
so like.
It looks uncomfortable.
She's wearing tight silk.
It's very tailored.
Do
It's very tailored.
you think he was standing there as like they tailored her shirt?
Who? Rick Berman?
Yes.
No, he just put a little hidden camera in the corner.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
Sorry. But this is also not how it works. You don't just walk.
Hey,
into
don't
someone's
blame me
room.
for that one, Ryan. It was your review.
To
It was
Paul,
Rick Berman.
How do they get
Maybe
it? How do they get
Paul
those
should
to
have a
stay up
gun.
when they're like below her hip bones?
Nobody knows.
They probably had double-sided tape. Double-sided tape, of course.
I had a pair of athletic sweatpants like that when I was in college. I just picked it up from the girls.
Okay, now I'm uncomfortable.
Why are you going to arrest the ghost? He can just leave and possess someone else.
Yeah, exactly. You need some type of containment field. We need to
but-
call the Ghostbusters.
I've always been like a thinner.
It's just Reed pretending to be a ghost.
Just so we
Oh,
can
that'd
get
be
away with
funny.
it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was possessed. That wasn't me. Sorry.
Yeah, we can be possessed at any time. Pardon me if I begin drooling.
Boy. I think we've discovered something about your review none of us wanted to know.
What did we discover about your review?
Don't worry about it. How about that weather?
I want to know.
No, I'm
It's
just saying.
outrageous.
Well, you just need to pay attention to the conversation. You would have noticed.
Or don't.
Or don't. To tune it out. You're all better for it.
Let me mute.
Not bloody ghosts. They don't know anything about science. Stupid ghosts. And are ghosts like, okay, so one, ghosts don't exist, but two, if ghosts exist
you
and
know?
they're like, and they just like live in your house, are they just there watching you? How many ghosts are
Probably.
here? Because like
4.
80,
The
like
ans- the
80% of
answer's
the
4.
total human population is dead.
Well, most of the ghosts probably don't speak language that you speak. So they're
But
just
they're
very
just like
confused.
there, they're just chilling.
I think the idea is ghosts are only the souls that are stuck here because they have something unresolved. The rest of us.
How
go
are they
to
supposed to
heaven.
resolve something if they're basically ghosts?
I
By
don't know.
getting over it.
I don't know how
By
that
coping and soothing.
works.
They just have to do a Christmas Carol and watch people be happy. It's like, oh yeah, maybe I was kind of a jerk. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna move on now. Why are they always knocking things off counters? How does that help them resolve their issues? Is it the ghost of a cat?
Yes. Schrodinger's cat.
I don't understand what ghosts are supposed to do. They just kind of hang out. How come the only ghosts that reveal themselves are the ones that are jerks?
True.
Well, if a ghost is nice, they would know that people don't like being haunted, so they don't haunt you. So only jerks would
Yeah.
haunt you.
Do you think
Like
When-
they only like remind
when
you
internet
that you're chased.
pranksters of this age start to die off, that in the future all ghost sightings are just gonna be ghosts going, sick prank, bro.
Yeah.
Just a prank, bro.
Ashton Kutcher's ghost punking us all.
The catwalk. Oh, they're bringing it back. Look
I
at
like
that
the
country.
I
starship
reuse that
and like
set.
the geometric designs.
I like the Enterprise set design. I think it's really strong.
Can they not enter T'Pol?
Don't know.
Hmm.
They can't possess Phlox, at least. I don't know about Paul.
Paul's just there for.
You say that she
That
is
ladder's quite
susceptible
wobbly.
to I can't make it work.
Tennille?
Sorry, Jess.
Oh, you're being chased by a spooky. What do you do? It's a ghost. It can go through.
Yeah.
Why
Wait,
even
they
bother
can't
to
enter
close
the
the door?
nacelle? They can't enter the nacelle because of the shielding, I think. If that's right.
Mm.
Mm.
And the cell set's so cool.
Yeah, it's called a catwalk because we vogue and model
Yeah, they
there.
just said so.
Yeah. And there's two of them.
Some
'Cause, you know,
kind
there's-
of osmium alloy.
There's two nacelles. So there's two catwalks.
Some kind
It's the
of
catwalk too. Spooky
Where's the-
Boogaloo.
some kind of
So it reminds me. You remember that episode? I think Phantasms was the name, where Riker and Worf recreate something Geordi on the holodeck because they're being kidnapped in the middle of the night by like different interdimensional aliens, and it just like floats
No.
away at the end of the episode. Like we never see them again. So we get that same thing because these aliens just like come into the ship and float away, and then we get the Troy, like Menage a Troy.
If you try to yell at a ghost who's possessing someone, the power of Christ compels you and try to exercise it.
I don't
What if
think
the ghost
Hoshi
was
will
like a
appreciate
Buddhist?
being bruised when she wakes up. You don't need to shake her.
Maybe shaking is
Why is
how you
Archer
do
always so
exorcisms.
angry?
No, but I think
What's his deal?
like it's terrifying as a starship captain if like at any point your people are being
Possessed?
taken over by hostile crew. So like if you can't even trust your security guards, it's as close to mutiny as you get, for a starship captain. So he's really panicking. Like of course he is gonna choke the life out of Hoshi if he has to.
That seems like a bad strat.
Very bad strategy, but like desperation is like
God.
at a peak.
It actually just is the catwalk too. We've already had an episode on the catwalk. Do we need
Yes.
another?
Well, they've built the set, so they might as well use it.
Yeah.
A really
And
cool set. It's a good thing they
is,
built
but
it.
we just saw it.
Yeah, and we just saw it before that too, like 2-3 episodes ago.
What do they use it for?
The episode, the catwalk.
No, but I feel like on Canamar also, like we saw the catwalk set, right? Like, or
I don't
Something
think
similar.
so.
okay, it was a similar. Okay, but Ryan, it's very interesting because I didn't want to go on a ramble, but like I believe
Oh, someone just got a Microsoft Teams message or a message on their Samsung phone.
yes. So sorry, let me mute that. But
What did they say?
on November
What did they say? We want to know.
on
Inquiring
October,
minds.
on October 31st,
No,
I
no,
saw
no, 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 Ellis.
it was 2006, right? I saw a ghost movie, a vampire movie, with my partner at the time in college, and then I went over to his house and I had to hide in his basement until both his parents went to sleep. And in his basement, in his living room, there was the ashes of the urns of his uncle. And I was in the basement, and I believe I was mortified. Right? It was Halloween, All Hallows Eve, and I watched a ghost movie. So I admit my psychological nerves were probably racked, but I believe this ghost like spoke to me telepathically, and it demanded to know if I was here to hurt anyone in the house. It kept repeating itself, and then I took the name of the religious
taking
person
the
that you
phrase
just said.
crystal?
You said Christ. So I took that name, and finally the ghost left me alone. And the next day, I told his mom that story, and she said that her brother, the uncle, he was very insistent. He would repeat the same question multiple times if you didn't answer his question. So the ghost that I met was in personality similar to what the person was supposed to be. But it's your question was about if you said that to a Buddhist, would it work? But it's very
A Buddhist
ironic because
ghost.
yes, but I was a Muslim, but I said that to a Catholic ghost and it worked. The ghost did leave me alone.
So yeah.
And that is the one and only time I think I spoke to a ghost. But like I said, maybe
Okay.
my nerves were
I'm
just
not going to
racked.
touch that story. I'll just
Yeah,
leave
that's
that
all. But
be.
yeah, let's watch the episode.
Well, it's a ghost of the book.
Jesus.
So.
Jesus,
some-
Hoshi, that's savage. Beat that man in the face. Oh, come on,
See-
Hoshi Ghost. Just shoot him. Come on.
These ghosts don't even pretend like they're not ghosts. They would get a lot farther if they were like, "Let me get access to your control panel," and
Well, they don't know whether
They don't know how to work
what
them.
Yeah, they don't know the things that the people they're inheriting know.
let me hold
They're
your
ghosts
captain
and haven't
hostage.
kept up with modern technology for the last 1,000 years.
Let me hold your captain hostage. Like the TNG ghosts were much smarter than these ghosts.
If there's a Victorian era ghost hanging around, do they keep up on technology, or do they just every time they see a phone they're like, oh, witchcraft?
Yes.
Can ghosts learn stuff, or are they just do they know what they know when they die? What's the
stuck
deal?
stuck in their era.
Oh, look, T'Pol can get possessed.
I have to imagine that they
Ah,
good job,
shut
T'Pol. I think she actually like goes into a paralysis because she's wrestling with the demon in her mind.
Yes.
Well, like, I assume that ghosts are supposed to, like, be stuck in the era they came from because Victorian ghosts are wearing Victoria-era clothing
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody ever just puts on sweatpants as a ghost.
What if he died in sweatpants?
I don't think, well,
She's fighting the ghost.
Like, what if I died right now?
well, your clothes don't turn into ghosts. So I imagine
Can I be
the
naked?
clothes on ghosts are just projections of the ghost's mind. It's ghost mind.
Let's see.
Because they don't exist because clothes don't die because they're inanimate objects.
Right. But you're right. Ghosts should be naked all the time and not care.
What's my name? Say my name.
Is that why most ghosts are invisible constantly? Because that's when they're naked, and they only show up when they get dressed.
Right.
What are the rules about spirits?
I mean,
Now
they
you're
like
the
to
one
wear
making
clothes,
it
but they
weird.
can't.
Oh yikes! Okay.
Oh, this is the good one. That's tough.
Why do they?
If Earth is destroyed in a few billion years by the sun consuming it, do the ghosts just have to live inside the sun? Well, live in air quotes. Do they get to go somewhere else?
Nice thinking, Archer. Jeez. So just for fun, I loaded up the
Archer
save and
considers
set the
going
AI
like
to do it,
real.
and nothing's happening. Literally nothing's happening.
Did you unpause
You know,
the game?
No, it's on faster. Ships are moving around and stuff, but no one's attacking anyone.
They could
Nothing like
find.
that.
They could fill a ship full of cats and dogs and just let the ghosts take over that and just like that's it. Like be
What's a
happy.
ghost need with a starship?
You don't have to like kidnap Trip. We'll feed you.
Phlox just seems totally unfazed on the fact that he's gonna murder several crewmen. It's like, yeah, I'll bring him back. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're still talking about killing them for a bit.
Yeah, and by the way, whatever century you live in, it's really risky. Like, doesn't at some point every Star Trek Doctor does it.
Okay,
Like
so
McCoy does it, Crusher does it.
Does what?
what's his
Like,
name?
pretend to kill
Travis.
someone.
He's possessed right now, right?
Kill someone to
about-
save them and then revive them?
Pulaski.
Yeah, Pulaski does it.
I like their giant, oversized fiber optic cables.
That was new at the time. Okay, this was 2003
They're
too.
very
That's
nice
not
and
true. The
glowy.
Deep Space Nine model was lit with normal fiber optic cables,
Yeah, I mean it's true. Like any
which
plastic
are like way
thread
smaller.
with a little light at the end of it is like a fiber optic. But like I had a fiber optic toy.
Oh,
As a
they
kid.
found the circuit breaker to the warp
Mhm.
core? What are they looking at? What is this? Why
Uh-oh.
why does the ghost have to be so creepy? Why can't it just walk around like a normal person?
Because it's not a normal person.
It's a
And
creep.
so like it's not used to human mannerisms, so it acts creepy. So it doesn't know exactly how to do it right.
That's my
This is-
excuse.
This is a good Halloween episode.
Shoot him.
Like
Shoot
we
him
don't
now.
get shirtless Travis, but it's a good episode.
A command compartment.
Ooh.
Travis is a little
Damn,
slow on
so
the
much for being a
uptake, but
perfect
he's got
gentleman.
spirit. Travis, you really don't understand what's happening.
Maybe, yeah.
Looks like someone
Seems a
needs to
little
call the
dim.
Ghostbusters.
If this were TNG, we could just hold every ghost in a force field.
Yes, that is definitely canon in TNG.
Maybe then the ghost would say, "Release the force field."
But yeah, back into it.
And if only T'Pol was down there, she'd be able to get it open. She's selectively strong sometimes.
If only Phlox went to the gym.
Oh, that handle's quite. Let's see.
So he's
Phlox
pushing on the
misses
bottom side of
one
the
day.
panel and pulling on the top side.
Houston.
Oh, now you figured it out, Travis. Jesus.
We had the episode where Mayweather like broke his leg falling down with Reed and Trip, I think. The cave. No, I think we're getting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure we passed it. But you see Travis has like really good acting actually. He's very underutilized in this series.
Why did they write him to be an idiot here?
Yeah, that's the thing. But even here he's acting like really hard like that's the thing, you know, just do your job regardless of what
The hell is that graphic?
All right, standard computer side panel. Looks good.
We don't have Lucaris yet.
I still don't know why that thing shines light on their face. What why?
You can see the actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I know that part. Thank you.
No, but you're right. There's no reason mechanically
Yeah, not a perfect
in
gentleman
world.
indeed.
in world.
Phlox, did you bring a gun?
No, but he has a combat hypospray, maybe?
Probably.
He has a panel of
A combat
You know what's better than a
hypo
combat
spray?
hypo spray? A gun.
Well, Hoshi probably doesn't think so. Because Hoshi had a gun, but she's defeated by Phlox with the combat
Phlox could have
hypo spray.
taken her gun.
I like how the steam is neither hot nor dangerous.
Well, how do you not?
It's just the CO2. It's just CO2.
Okay. Thanks.
He's suffocating, Trip.
Why would there be steam in a starship?
Sorry.
It's steam powered.
I mean, in reality, CO2 is just as colorless as air.
Carbon dioxide, yes, is colorless and odorless. You
That is
wouldn't know.
Probably made
That's
it
carbon
some
monoxide, yeah.
fancy.
You just know when you start asphyxiating.
All right, we killed Reed. We killed some random
You
extras.
probably just get loopy.
Hoshi.
By the way, loss of the oxygen, matter of minutes and seconds till you have like brain death. Like brain death begins immediately, but like all your cells start dying once you don't have oxygen anymore.
Yes.
And the question is like when you come back, are you still gonna have enough left to be like a person? Or are
Well,
just gonna be...
you have 2 minutes before irreparable brain damage.
Yeah. And after that though, it's just you start losing functions by the second. So, bad idea. Actually, that they should have found another way.
What if we let them swallow us and then we just fire torpedoes inside?
Yes, that's better.
I think that's what exactly they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Because like someone put it out, if you don't have this in 2 minutes, like your crew members start, it's not a pretty.
I don't
picture.
know what the point of the starship is if they're ghosts.
Because
Why
they,
do they have a ship?
have to use the starship to be in hub space.
Everyone practice your breathing. It's very important.
And that looked like the ravioli ship from The Child, kind of.
Well, an entire
Anything
species
interesting happening in the
exterminated.
game?
Yeah, they had to come. And besides, they were kind of already exterminated because they were ghosts.
Oh, it's a Clean On episode next week.
You killed the
Alright.
ghosts.
So that's Enterprise. It's a pretty
Not
good
even
show.
Once.
Great job.
Enterprise many times. Yeah, what is next week on Enterprise? I don't know.
We have
Enterprise.
Judgment, which is the Clean On tribunal.
With
Horizon.
Martok.
Then the breach.
We have Horizon.
So
the
Martok,
ship.
we get a Martok episode, we get a Travis episode, and we get a Phlox episode. Okay, should be good. But tomorrow, we get the best episode, Tuvix. Tomorrow is Tuvix. That's the first episode.
Where Janeway did the right thing.
Lessons in leadership.
Janeway did nothing
ready.
wrong,
Yes.
Leadership,
except
folks.
the murder.
It's a manual on leadership.
I mean, yes,
Oh my
Janeway
God,
did
Ryan.
commit murder, but she did the right thing.
Your intake is amazing. I just saw the newest one with Booker. That's incredible. Also, what the hell is up with Booker? Like, I thought he joined Starfleet in the last season, but now
No, he
he's
didn't
not
join
a
Starfleet.
officer.
He was just pretending to be Starfleet so they didn't arouse suspicion with some rando
Oh.
on the ship.
Yeah, I didn't rewatch it before watching the new season, so I just remembered him in the outfit.
He's just a guy. He's just there.
Yeah, he specifically said, I don't like wearing this outfit. Please don't make me wear it again.
Yeah, I just bought the Discovery Season 3 Blu-ray so I could get the outtakes.
Nice.
Got that now.
That was a really good
Congratulations.
outtake.
And, yeah, stream's over. Go away.
Tomorrow, Voyager.
We're here. We're never leaving.
See you tomorrow.
Wow.